You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Hey everybody, here we are again, another episode of Small Business Talk with Jerry. This is Greg and my third episode.
It's so much fun I had to do it again. And again and again.
And again, thanks for coming back.
You bet.
So again, I'm Jerry, and Greg is with us. How you doing, Greg?
Hey, just as good or better than the last time. When you and I talked last time, we were talking about referrals.
Yes.
And how to ask for a referral. And I think we left that saying how would you help somebody give you a good referral?
Right.
Because
that's the other half of the equation.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So when you talk about that, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
Top of mind. Because when I give a lot of referrals. I mean, you've known me for a long time.
Yeah.
I give a ton of referrals. I mean, I don't want to work hard.
Right.
So the best way to not work hard is to refer that business out, right? I mean,
Yep.
do what you do best. The things that you're good at, that you're going to provide a good service, and you create the value, right? You do it at the right price and the timing. But the things that you can't fit in at a good price, you don't steal from people, right? So that there's other people out there, like for instance, automotive repair. Okay, we used to sell tires. The tire industry changed a bit. And all of a sudden, being the little guy, you've been around a while. You're a little older than I am. We're similar in age. 20 years ago, when you drove down the street and you went by, every garage had that rolling rack with tires on it.
Yep.
When's the last time you saw one of those in a parking lot?
No.
Right.
Just
probably didn't even notice that they went away.
Right.
But when you think about it, they went away.
Right.
The industry changed.
Way back, they even used to have used tires
on
those racks.
Right.
Because
everybody sold used tires.
Yep.
Now the only place to get a good used tire is a junkyard because they're already insured for selling used parts. Tires are used parts.
Right.
I can't make up enough money in used tires. And with the economy where it's at, let's be honest, people don't take off tires that are half used.
Right.
When they take them off, they're done.
Right.
They're cooked.
And when we talk about referrals and giving referrals and stuff, one of the things I think that has really changed in business is something being a commodity. The big businesses have really taken over all the commodities.
They have, absolutely.
And it's not really the place of a small business for the most part. I mean, that's not your bread and butter. That's not where you're going to live. You're going to live in the service area.
Right.
You're going to live giving that one-to-one thing that people need.
Right.
A lot more than they think.
Yeah, right.
But when it comes to buying a cell phone or something, there's not a small company that's going to compete with the big ones. There's just not.
Well, right. Commodities are all about, do we sell one of these and make $100, or do we sell 1,000 of these and make 35 cents each? And commodities are, let's sell 1,000 and make 35 cents.
And they have the systems to do it.
Right.
100%.
Right. Yep. They have that network.
Yep.
Yep.
As a small business owner, we need to focus on what we do best, as you already pointed out. Yep. We have to do that, and the best way to do that is to make sure that we are asking for referrals, number one, and then
for the right referrals.
Yeah, for the right referrals, and then also helping the people that refer us understand how to give us a good referral.
Right.
I mean, if you hear of somebody that's unhappy with the garbage service, the best thing you can do as a referrer to me is say, well, why are you unhappy? Yeah. Ask a couple questions, get a little bit of information, find out where they are and what is really bothering them.
Right.
And that way you can help give a better referral because you're going to speak exactly to the problems that they're having. And if you already know that with Harder's Disposal that we can fix those problems, now that referral just became so much easier. Yep. So you really, instead of just saying, Harder's Disposal to everybody.
Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't say anything. That's like best service. Yeah. What? What is that? What is that?
Well, and I'm going to dissect that even just a little further because you and I just had this conversation. It's what I do, right?
Yep.
It's how my mind works. So for me, I don't mind asking a couple of questions, right? Initially, my first thought is, well, I'm not Harder's salesman, right? I'm just going to say Harder's is great. Go talk to Greg. Let Greg, you're a salesman. Let Harder's sell itself, right? Let them do the legwork. I'm just going to get the referral. I'm going to get it in front of you. And at the end of the day, if that's all you're going to do, that's all Harder's needs. really,
Right.
is for
That's
me
a lead.
yeah, that's a lead.
That's not a referral. That's
It's
a
not a
lead.
referral. It's a
Yep.
lead. But
Right.
but it's not just a cold call, because these people have a concern. They're looking for a garbage company.
Right.
It's not just a door hanger on a door that might or might not be happy with what they have.
Right.
Now, the other side of this, for me, I take it a step further. I do like to ask a couple questions. And when they give me their concerns on why they're looking for garbage service, if I can personally relate to that, then I go into Jerry mode, right? And I get into my story, and I'm like, well, here's what I did,
Right.
and I can relate to their story because I was upset or I was unhappy or concerned with the same things they're concerned about.
Yep.
I can relate. Now I can, and at that point, let's be honest, I'm really selling harder service. At that point, I am an unpaid salesperson. Maybe get my free month out of it, right? Whatever.
Right.
So maybe paid. I mean, to a point.
But when you're doing that, that's probably not your motivation.
Right.
I mean,
No,
that's a
absolutely
thank you
not.
from us. But exactly, when you connect with somebody, and that's probably the best thing about giving a referral. How to give a good referral is make that connection. That's why I say
Right.
ask a couple questions,
Right.
get a little bit more information,
Yep.
because you're going to be able to help that person so much better.
Right. And if they give me concerns that, in the back of my head, I'm just like, seriously? Because I do that. I mean, I look at things and I'm just like, wow, I would not waste 30 seconds of my day being concerned about that. Okay, that's my opinion. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Right.
But what I'm going to do at that point, now I'm going to send Harders a lead.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm just going to go, yeah, I would bet they have a solution for that.
Right.
And I want to say, I couldn't care less about that. And I don't care if they have a solution for that, because it's never going to bother me, but it bothers them. So, and if it bothers them, they're not the only one. We've said that over and over again. If you have a problem in business, even
Right.
though it's a separate business, I'm going to see some derivative of that problem, or have seen it. One of the two.
100%,
It's
yeah.
either it's happened or it's going to happen. It's not if. And so, with that same thing, if they give me a concern that I can't relate with, then I'm just going to push a lead and go, but you should call Greg at Harders. And then we'll go talk about something else.
Yeah.
But as soon as they give me a problem or a concern that I can relate to, like I said, then it's Jerry mode. Then it's like, well, I'm gonna tell a story, because
Right.
I have a story to tell. You
tell stories?
I know.
What?
I know. It's
Oh,
and
man.
but that's really it. But now it gives me some meaning, and now I can go. I know Harders can solve that because they solved it for me.
That's the heart of a story. It has meaning. It gives meaning.
Right.
Relatable, like in your lifetime, something
Yep.
you can think about and go, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of comedy. I love stand-up comedy.
Okay.
When I watch like a lot of foreign comedians, okay, they talk about things that I can't relate to because I'm not from Sweden, I'm not from Germany, I don't understand. But when I have a comedian here and he talks about current events here that I'm aware of, it's something I can relate to.
Right.
Okay, well, the story that I'm relating to isn't funny. The comedian makes it funny, but he makes it funny because I understand it and I can relate to it. And again, that's just, I make comparisons. I'm always making the comparisons from one thing to another, even comedy to business. But the relationship, the comparison is legit. And so if you can, if a friend of mine can give me something that I can relate to, and I can tell them a story that I've experienced and end that story with, and then I went to Harders, and they got it.
Right.
They knew that.
And the thing about stories is they don't need to be long, involved, anything, because if you go online,
Mine are very long usually, but they don't have to be.
they are. Anyway, but no, I mean, if you go online and you're looking at reviews, every single review, unless it just says good or whatever,
Right, or it's got
every
stars.
single review is a story. Every one.
Yep.
And that's why people look at reviews, because they want to hear those stories. They want to hear,
Yep.
it was broken when I took it out of the box, or
Right.
this thing worked great. My granddaughter loved it as a gift.
Yep.
This was so those stories. That's really how to give a good
Yep.
referral. Ask a couple questions, and if you've got a personal story, 100% relate
Right.
it to them, because they will be able to see and feel that, and they will feel compelled to want the same experience that you just had.
Because none of us like it. We mentioned this in the last episode. When a friend comes to you and says, "Yeah, I had my car worked on at so and so's shop, and it was a horrible experience,"
Right.
right? And then your thought is, "Man, I wish I'd have known you were doing that, because I got a great mechanic. I got a great shop that I go to," or whatever the story is. And then if you really look back, maybe you did talk about it a week ago. Right.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
and you did know, but you weren't thinking about that shop.
Right.
And it wasn't top of mind.
Yep.
And so this kind of rolls back to be a little self-serving to SBR Group. Again, we mentioned this all. I'm gonna beat this to death. We don't have mandatory meetings. right? You don't have to come to the meetings to
We're
be a member.
adults. Why would we need it mandatory?
Right, right.
Absolutely not.
But on the same token, if you don't go, it doesn't work. The more you go, the better it works. Maybe that's a better way to say it. But it's top of mind. It's when that neighbor says, yeah, I made an appointment at so-and-so. Now, if you had a bad experience with so-and-so, tell them.
Right.
But even if you didn't, if you know that you don't know so-and-so, but you know your shop, and it's great, there's nothing wrong with saying people cancel appointments all the time. Call my guy, call my gal, call my shop, and see what they can do for you, because I'm telling them these guys are great. And that's, and at the end of the day, it's much more satisfying to have that friend, neighbor, brother, whatever, coworker come to you a week later and go, I went to your place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Right.
That is the best feeling.
That is the best feeling. And even if you had nothing to do with the bad experience, you still don't enjoy it. Right?
No,
I mean, you don't like hearing that they had a bad experience, even if you didn't refer them.
Right.
And with a group like SBR Group, if people are in there for an amount of time, if there's bad experiences, they're not going to last. I mean, bottom line, it's not a threat. I don't want to sound like that, but if you get complaints, we're going to investigate that. And if those complaints are legit, you're going to forfeit your membership.
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to stay there. Now, are there Karens in the world? And but again, we're all adults.
That term.
I do too.
I hate that term.
But you knew what I meant.
Yeah, I do.
But you know what I meant.
I do.
Yep, that's you know what I meant. Let's
Yep.
But my point is, there's always those people that you just can't make happy.
Right.
And those people are fairly easy to distinguish when you spend 2 minutes with them.
Right.
You make a quick phone call, you stop by, whatever it takes to investigate this. Going, tell me about your situation. You had the initiative to complain about it. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to tell me why. And because this is going to depend on if they stay a member or not. So when you come into SBR Group and you see someone that's been there for a few months, they're a good business.
Well, and remember, these are people like, and trust. Trust is 100%. Probably it should be trust, know, and like.
You should. Yeah, you're right.
Because if if you don't trust somebody, you are not going to refer them.
No,
100% not. So. Do what you say.
Yep.
Say what you're going to do, and then do what you say. It's a pretty simple recipe.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So I guess at the end of the day, my biggest thing is, you started with the question of when I refer people.
Yep.
The biggest mistake I make when I'm referring people is not thinking of them in the first place. And if you're meeting with people every week in a group, you're going to think about
100%.
them. And
you're going to have an opportunity to hear about that person and something they do or something they did or something new that they have. And you're going to be, like you said, top of mind. Which is so important. So attendance is everything, 100%. Be there, show up, make the decision, and be there, because you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everybody else in the group. And it goes both ways.
It does. And at the end of the day, it's an old, I have no idea who quoted this originally, but help me help you.
Yeah.
Bottom line, because when I tell you my biggest fault in referrals is is my person I want to refer not being top of mind. That's not all my fault.
Right.
So, again, I will take my responsibility for not giving the referral, but you got to help me help you. You've got to be there. You got to keep yourself top of mind with me.
And that's that's being interesting.
Yep.
Being informational, being fun, have a fun personality.
Right.
Well, personality is a great thing.
It is. Yeah. For those of you that have it, that's awesome. For the rest of us, well, we do what we can. All right. Well, guys, we're a little over on time again. We're at 13:39. Greg's a bad influence. I just got to put that out. But it's all Greg. Greg, any closing thoughts?
Join SBRgroup.com.
Yeah.
Join us.
Join us.
All right.
Come see what it's all about. You have a great day, guys. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.